내일 저녁에 또 와야 되겠다. 계속 촬영해야 되면 한 카트씩이라도 하고.
It is using treated water to irrigate agricultural land and is producing organic fertilizer.
이거 충전시켜놔야 되는 거 아니에요?
충전 100%
돼 있어요?
촬영 시작하면 건전지 연결해가지고 금방 달아붙기 때문에 30분을 견디지 못해. 자동 꺼져버리고 15분 내니까 끝내는 거예요. 10분에서 15분.
What makes a great goal? Is it the one that electrifies?
올 때까지 조금 할 얘기를 좀 정리하고.
The one that rewrites football history? Or is it a goal that is far greater than that? A goal that humanity can only score together. A united world for sustainability. When we rise as one team, team-centric, we can still win this game.
Are you in? 밥 먹고 있다가 송과장 뭐 여기 오면 한 8시 될 것 같아. 미쳐버려 이 새끼는.
What are the leading companies going to be talking about in the next 2 to 3 years from a talent perspective? It will be about skills. It will be about the use of AI to help their people develop their skills and to transform organizations. We know that skills are becoming obsolete very fast because of the change in digital and the use of technology. And it also enables you to open up the talent pipeline. So for example, in the US, we will hire 20% of our entry-level hiring this year will be into our apprenticeship program. Our apprenticeship program does not focus on 4-year degrees. It focuses on skills and potential. We also have a database of all of the skills of our client-facing peoples, and we can use algorithms to identify who can be upskilled into new hot areas.
To open doors, to develop contacts, and to unlock secrets, it takes trust. It was the first time he really came out of his shell in front of the camera. Trust that you'll listen.
So great that you're here today. It just highlights what's making a difference.
That you'll be honest. I don't want to pry, but what sort of conversations do you have with them? Trust that you'll be accurate and you'll be fair. It was an unprecedented move, very eerie. All the roads have been closed off to describe the scene that you arrived to. The Apache attack helicopter. This is what Captain Wales has been flying. You want talks with them? What is the point of talking now? Huge amount of police support coming into this process. We continue to monitor the government in crisis. This was the Duchess's first news interview. Rare access indeed. Those were the two of them. Max Foster, CNN.
There is more emotional testimony expected today in court when actress Amber Heard returns to the stand in Fairfax County, Virginia, defending herself in a $50 million defamation suit from ex-husband, the actor Johnny Depp. Now, Depp filed the suit over a Washington Post opinion piece that Amber Heard wrote where she claimed to be a public figure of domestic violence. Now, Depp is not named in that op-ed that was written by Heard, but he claims that he lost key movie roles after that publication. So let's bring in CNN's Chloe Malas, who's been following all this.
Good morning. For the first time in weeks, we finally heard from Amber herself. And she had a lot to say when she took the stand.
This is the most painful and difficult thing I've ever gone through.
Johnny Depp's defamation case against ex-wife Amber Heard continued for a 14th day, with Heard taking the stand. Heard's team began its defense Tuesday with a forensic psychologist who testified that she diagnosed Heard with post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of intimate partner violence from Depp.
I fell head over heels in love with this man.
Heard testified before a courtroom packed with Depp's fans. She chronicled her relationship with Depp, which she testified started in 2011 on the media tour for the film The Rum Diary. She recalled the secretive warm glow of the beginning of their relationship that they kept hidden from the public.
When I was around Johnny, I felt like the most beautiful person in the whole world.
She says the relationship took a turn when Depp struck her after she asked him about one of his tattoos. Depp denies ever striking Heard and alleges she abused him.
I just stared at him, kind of laughing still, thinking that he was going to start laughing too to tell me it was a joke, but he didn't. He said, "You think it's so funny? You think it's funny? You think you're funny?" And he slapped me again. Like, I wasn't clear. It wasn't a joke anymore. I didn't want to leave him. I didn't want this to be the reality. I didn't want to have the man I was in love with. I know you don't come back from that. You know, I'm not dumb. I know you can't hit a woman. You can't hit a man. You can't hit anyone. You can't just hit somebody because they... I knew it was wrong, and I knew that I had to leave him. And that's what broke my heart, because I didn't want to leave him.
Heard told the court that Depp apologized for the incident, but by March 2013, the abuse was escalating. She sent a picture of a bruise on her arm to her mother that she says she sustained from an argument with the actor.
He grabbed me by the arm, and he kind of just held me on the floor, screaming at me. I don't know how many times he hit me in the face, but I remember being on the floor of my apartment, and I remember thinking, how can this happen to me again?
Heard shared pictures of drugs that she says Depp abused one night before he allegedly held his small dog out the window of a moving vehicle.
Everyone in the car, I'll never forget it. Everyone just froze. No one did anything.
In May 2013, during a trip to the desert where she testified both took drugs, Heard says Depp accused her of hiding his cocaine. She alleges that he began ripping her dress off and proceeded to conduct what he called a cavity search.
He starts, what feels like patting me down or saying he's patting me down, I can't recall, but he ripped my dress, the strap top part of my dress. He's like grabbing my breasts, he's touching my thighs, he rips my underwear off. Why would I hide his drugs from, like he was insinuating that I was doing it or something? It made no sense. And he was telling me we're gonna conduct a cavity search. I just stood there staring at the stupid light. I didn't know what to do. I just stood there. I just did that.
Heard recalled another incident from 2013 where she was on Depp's yacht in the Bahamas with Depp's children. She says Depp's daughter realized her father had started drinking again, and Heard says Depp accused her of ratting him out to his kids.
He slams me up against the side wall of the bedroom of the cabin. We were in the bedroom this whole time, but up against the wall of the cabin, and slams me up by my neck and holds me there for a second and tells me that he could kill me. And that was an embarrassment.
Amber is expected to testify again today. Johnny Depp actually took the stand 4 times over the past few weeks, so you can imagine that Amber has more to say, and at some point too, Alex, she will be cross-examined by Depp's legal team.
What an incredibly dramatic trial. Chloe Molas in New York, thanks very much.
And joining us now is Laura Jarrett, anchor of Early Start. She is also an attorney and watching this trial closely. I wonder, as we look at this testimony, which will continue for days, Laura, what impact this might have.
Yeah, so Brianna, this entire case is going to come down to credibility. If the jury believes Amber Heard's story, as we heard Chloe lay it out in that piece, then Depp has to lose this case full stop. Remember, this is not a criminal case about domestic violence. Even though domestic violence is at the center of it, this is a defamation case dating back to 2018 when she wrote that op-ed that said she was a public figure representing domestic abuse. Now, he says, of course, that that's a lie, that's slander, so she has to lose her case. But if the jury believes her, and they've now heard a pattern of abuse stories from her. It was not just one instance, it was not just physical, it was classic domestic violence, a situation of isolation, of where he was so jealous of all of these different phantoms, where he actually hit her on more than one occasion. To hear her story, if the jury believes that, that is an ultimate defense to defamation. And not only could he lose, but he also may be on the hook here, because remember, she has countersued him because his lawyer went out to say essentially that her story was a hoax. So if in fact the jury believes her, that he could also be on the hook here for money.
Yeah, he's suing her for $50 million. She's countersuing him for $100 million.
Yeah.
Lots of talk about his substance abuse. How does that factor into this?
I think it's going to go into the jury's sort of picture of what their relationship was like, right? This entire thing just sounds incredibly toxic, incredibly disturbing. You know, they've heard a number of audio recordings the jury has of things that she was saying to him, things he was saying to her. It all kind of paints this really disturbing picture, I think, for the jury. And if in fact they believe her, which is that when he used drugs, and he used a lot of different drugs in her telling, that he became more violent, that will add credibility to her story. Again, remember his telling of this under oath is that he did not even hit her one time. So if they believe that he did at least one time, he has to lose.
He has to lose. All right, Laura Jarrett, thank you so much for that. New safety fears as the nation is dealing with a pilot shortage. Why airline carriers now want new pilots with less experience.
And she sold her home, planned to retire, then disappeared with an inmate. What we're learning more about Vicky White. We'll speak with the district attorney who worked with White for 17 years.
We try to be global and we try to be smart. And we try very hard to get both of those every week. But I want to hear authentic voices of people who are passionate or intelligent about a subject, who will make you smarter, move you emotionally, who will kind of challenge your mind or move your heart. And that's the consistency that we try to get at.
Fareed Zakaria, GPS, Sundays on CNN.
Today we live in an unpredictable environment and news races around the world at breakneck speed.
Our engine continues, our impetus and momentum.
My show brings you the latest news and top news makers. Give me the facts on voter fraud.
There has never been a moment where voter fraud has affected the outcome of an election.
And we also dive below the headlines to explore vital issues impacting our lives.
Normally this theatre would be filled with people and art and debate and energy. And so now we have to rely on the two of us.
How interesting is it to be Tyler Mitchell today? It's crucial we make sense of what's happening. There seems to be some confusion that maybe you can clear up. Where are the US forces in Syria going? And fully understand what's at stake.
What's happening now in the world is a great thing because people are talking about subjects they never did before.
Alan Vore, Tuesday to Saturday on CNN.
So many questions about what is the federal government doing to get the anger that is out here. How concerned are you about the front line? You don't believe that there's a racial divide here. Looking back, as president, did you tell the story of race in America enough, do you think? All the places I've been and all the things I've seen, all the people I've talked to, I carry with me. They're part of what I do right here, holding the powerful accountable, keeping them honest.
AC 360, Tuesday through Saturday only on CNN.
I'm Clarissa Ward in Kiev, and this is CNN.
And brand new this morning, because of a shortage of commercial pilots, airlines are starting to slash thousands of flights from their schedules. Now, a possible fix that some carriers are coming up with is that they could have pilots with less experience. CNN's aviation correspondent Pete Montine has been following the latest developments and joins me now. Pete, this does have implications for commercial pilots who are still in training.
Yeah, you know, airlines just argued this week that this should change. It's known as the 1,500-hour rule. That's how much training airline pilots need before they become new airline pilots. Now, airlines are arguing it's a hurdle from keeping people from coming into the business, but those who argued for this rule in the first place say this simply cannot change. Airlines' latest push to curb flight cancellations caused by a shortage of pilots cannot happen, say John and Marilyn Kausner.
This was her younger years, but all her kiddies.
Their daughter Ellie was on board Colgan Air Flight 3407 the night of February 12, 2009, when it plunged into a Buffalo neighborhood. Ellie was among 45 passengers and 4 crew who were killed.
I didn't get the opportunity to walk my daughter down the aisle.
After the crash, the Kausners fought to mandate more pilots